Oh, this is Mr. Hornsby 3. This is the Mr. Hornsby 3 show. And before I start the show, I wanted to say this video is dedicated to the memory of my brother Stephen Hornsby. Because today's his birthday, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video. But today, finally going to get to Goodfellas. I've been waiting a while to do this movie. This is one of the reasons why I started doing Gangster Movie Month. It's also because I wanted to talk about Carlito's Way and Scarface. And talk about my issue with the frickin' storyline of Scarface where he's like lusting for his frickin' sister, which is just weird. But anyway, we're gonna talk today about not reviewing. I did a review Monday on the demolition figures from Elite 123. But we're gonna talk about the movie. We're gonna talk about some things that are different from the book between the movie. And pretty much just, talk about some points where the three main characters screwed up in the movie. So, first off, let's talk about the first thing where the three main characters screwed up, and it's during the Billy Bats situation. I think it's like somewhere at the beginning, Tommy, Henry, and Jimmy are all sitting in Henry's bar. They're hanging out. They're having a good time. And then a made man from a rival mob family, which this is how the movie starts. The movie starts out with them burying this guy. Well, first they have him in the trunk. There's noises in the trunk. They open the trunk. They finish the guy off. And he... And then we hear Henry start narrating the story of the movie. But the first mistake they made, because the guy was giving a hard time to Tommy, even though, the guy was a prick and he probably deserved to die. But in the mafia, you attack a made man, you're in some major trouble. Which I'll talk about how that came back to haunt Tommy later on in the movie. Next up, let's talk about Henry Hill. No, not Henry Hill. His name's not Henry Hill, is it? I don't think it's Henry Hill, no. Talk about Henry, the main character. He made a lot of mistakes. One of the biggest mistakes was pissing off his wife, that's for sure. Because in the movie, there's a point where he frickin' is having an affair with this other chick. And then his wife, Karen, has a gun to his face like she's going to shoot him. But then he gets pissed off at her and leaves her for a few days. And he's staying with the mistress. So Paulie and Jimmy have to go talk to him. And, this is where I'm going to start talking about some things from the movie to the book. Because I never read the book. But I know somebody who did read the book. Right now, me and that person are not on talking terms, and we'll probably never be on talking terms ever again. But, you know what? The person said in the book that Paulie, I think his name was Paul Cicero, I think it was Paul Cicero. Might have been Paul something else in the movie. Been a few weeks since I watched the movie, but I know this movie pretty well. Because I've watched it a lot. One of the gangster movies I've watched a lot. It's like up there with Scarface. It's up there with frickin' Carlito's Way. So I know those movies kind of by heart. But anyway. So apparently Paul was having an affair with Karen. And frickin' apparently Henry never knew. Which is kind of funny because it's kind of hypocritical. Because at the end of the movie, Paulie, kind of tells him, well, I got to turn my back on you because you stabbed me in the back and blah, 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 blah. And all that gibberish because Henry got himself in some trouble. He was doing drug deals on the side that Paulie told him to stop doing once they got out of jail. But him and Jimmy and I think Tommy was in on it too. I don't know. But he freaking sitting there being hypocritical, talking about all that stuff about how You know, you treat me like I was nothing, like a fucking idiot and whatever he said. Treat me like an idiot and all that stuff. Well, heck, you're sitting there banging his wife behind his back. But, you know, he's the one treating you like crap when you're banging his wife behind his back? I mean, come on now. Very hypocritical. But, you know what? That's how it goes. So, yeah. Now, let's get to some of the other mistakes the three main characters did. Outside of the Billy Bats thing, which was, you know, like I said, it's going to come back to haunt Tommy. So, another thing they did the Latanza heist, which I think they set up when they were in prison. And the people they hired kind of, you know, did not listen to anything Jimmy and them said. Jimmy said, keep a low profile. Do not freaking buy anything super expensive. Do not get people. Do not get them on our trail. And a couple of the idiots that did that heist kind of screwed it up. There's even a point where they ended up killing everybody. And one of the characters that screwed up was freaking Sam Jackson's character. Which, gee whiz, what movie in the 90s did you see that Sam Jackson wasn't in? I mean, Sam Jackson was, I mean, he's even in stuff these days. I mean, he's mostly known for Nick Fury and the freaking Marvel movies these days. But he's been in a lot of other movies. But he was definitely in the movies a lot in the 90s. Like, almost every freaking movie you could think of that came out in the 90s, some point in time, Sam Jackson was in the movie. But, you know, so they whack everybody that was a part of Latanza heist. Also, the side drug deal that they were doing on the side behind Paulie's back, even when they got out of jail. They knew eventually Paulie was going to freaking find out. But they were able to keep it away from him. But the major thing was mainly Henry was the one that was doing that the most. And Henry freaking ended up paying for it toward the end of the movie because he got busted. He got ousted by the gang because, you know, the movie starts with him starting in Paulie's gang as a kid. Like a little kid, teenager, whatever. And then it shows his journey throughout that gang, even though he's only like Irish and Italian. He can't be a full-blooded member of that family. Which also comes back to haunt him and Jimmy and Tommy later on in the movie as well. Because, you know, no, not really Jimmy, because Jimmy covered his tracks until, you know, Henry ratted him out. Anyway. So, the movie, like I said, it gives you all the freaking points. Tells you everything, like from when he met his wife Karen to, you know, all that other stuff and how he got in the gang and all that. And then, just went from there. But, yeah. So let's get to the things that came back to haunt them in the end. Another thing was, like I said, the Billy Bats thing. And there's a point in the movie where it looks like Tommy's going to get made, which is played by Joe Pesci. I forgot to mention, this movie stars Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, and frickin' Ray Liotta. But, you know, like I said, I got a lot on my mind today. I almost killed myself in the gym today. So, you know. And then, you know, it's my brother's birthday and that, but I'll talk about that at the end of this video. So, it looked like they were going to put Tommy and make him a maid family because he was the only member of their crew that was full-blooded Italian. And you could tell those three characters were very tight-nipped until the end. When, you know, Jimmy tries to have Henry killed. He also tries to have Karen killed, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But, so they take Tommy where it looks like he's about to be made, but instead they shoot him in the face to kill him. Because of the Billy Bat situation, I guess they found out because, you know, I guess they found out that they killed him. But if that is the case, why did Henry and frickin' Jimmy not getting in trouble? Because they're the ones that helped. Well, Henry didn't, but Jimmy did. Jimmy kind of held him down while, frickin' Tommy stabbing him and all that stuff. So, he also tells Henry, I'm sorry for getting blood on your floor. Yeah, which I think this is like one of the last real, outside of Casino, last real freaking hardcore gangster movies that Joe Pesci did. Because after that, he was in Lethal Weapon 3. He was in Lethal Weapon 4. Then he did Home Alone 2. He was also in Home Alone, the first one. So, I don't know. Those were all comedies or family movies. What else? So, yeah. But, I guess you could say a big problem that the whole gang had was that freaking they all got arrested. Paulie's whole freaking gang got arrested. They were in jail for a bit. And that's when Henry started doing the side deals, him and Jimmy and that. And, Karen also gets mad because his mistress came and seen him in jail. Like, why would you let your mistress come and see you in jail? If your wife's coming with your kids, she's gonna see that freaking name and she's gonna freak out and start some stuff. But, you know what? Another thing about this movie that really I just don't understand is Jimmy was so upset that Tommy died. And I think Tommy and Henry both joined at the same time. But, you think Jimmy would frickin' want to leave Paul's gang too, but I think that was kind of why he did the side deals with the drugs and that. With Henry, because of the fact that, they killed Tommy. They thought he was going to be made. All that stuff, so. There's even a point when they're talking about him getting made and that, they're talking about how we used to call each other Goodfellas. Because you know how it is with the freaking mob. When you're in good with them, they'll call you a good fella and all that BS and all that crap. And then you do something wrong, you're going to meet a bullet in your head without any warning. That's how the mafia work. And I'm talking about how Paulie's kind of a hypocrite because he got mad at frickin' Henry for what Henry was doing behind his back. But hell, like I said, this dude was banging his wife behind his back. Not only that, they killed Tommy behind his and frickin' Jimmy's back. They offered him... Who you think had to frickin' authorize the death of Tommy? It was Paul, because Paul was the big man. He was the don of the mob. Of that mob family, so... Who you think authorized that? It was freaking, Paulie. So... then again, in general, the freaking mafia is kind of hypocritical anyway. Better watch it, I might be having a pair of cement shoes down the road. But they're kind of hypocritical. Oh. It's like, and people talk about, like, religious people that go to church and all that stuff. How, I love you on or... Hey, brother, on Sunday and on Tuesday, fuck you, or something like that. But, that's kind of like how it is with the mafia. Oh, hey, brother, this one day you're my brother, you're my pal, you're my bestie. The next day you're getting a bullet in your head because of something stupid. Because they lost money or something like that. Which is why I was shocked with Casino, because Casino, Ace was also he was playing a Jewish guy who was earning money for the bosses. And Tommy, he was Mickey in that movie. Mickey was the gangster that was a part of that crew. And they freaking kill him. So I don't know. That might be a movie I'll talk about somewhere down the road. It's not really it's kind of a gangster movie, but it's mainly about a casino, so yeah. Maybe down the road I'll talk about that movie. But let's get back to Goodfellas. I gotta say though, I really love this movie. It's like one of the best, mob movies I've ever watched. I am, and I like the Godfather movies. It's just it takes too long for them to get to the point to where they need to get. Like, you know, it's kind of like last night I just watched Colors, and I'm never watching that movie again. That movie was freaking boring. And of course, it was boring, so it won an award, and it got 76% on Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff. You know, because, you know, the bad movies get good ratings by Rotten Tomatoes, and the bad. The good movies get bad ratings, and the bad movies get good ratings. That makes no sense to me. But yeah, so we get to the point, you know, where Henry's got caught. Karen goes to see Jimmy, and Jimmy freaking tries to get her killed, which is kind of stupid of him because he's like, usually, like, she would buy dresses from him, like, he had it in his shop that he, does his business out of. But then, at the end, tells her, like, oh, hey, dresses are around the corner. And I don't know if it was Jimmy's stupidity or the freaking guys that were supposed to kill Karen's stupidity. Because she goes to look and she's going to get a dress. But then she sees two guys in there. She was like, what are you doing? Go in there. Like, stupid. Your henchmen have already been seen by her. She's gonna go freaking, and honestly, I think, Jimmy, that's another big mistake that they made, the main characters made. Jimmy betraying Henry, because Henry was loyal to that freaking family, and he was upset, but, Jimmy, Henry was loyal to that family. He was loyal to frickin' Jimmy, and Jimmy was going to try to have his wife killed. With the two goons there, I mean, why would you hire stupid henchmen? It's kind of like the mob guys in the frickin' Carlito's Way movie. Like, they were just so stupid toward the end. Like, how do you get two henchmen that are that stupid to be noisy in that when you're trying to get these guys to kill Henry's wife, and you got these dummies running around in the shop, breaking things up, and you think she's going to be dumb enough to just walk in there like, oh, hey, that's nothing unusual, let's go on in. I mean, seriously. And this was before, this was before Henry went and came clean to Polly about what he had done. Because Polly... So after Jimmy tried to have Karen killed, then that's when Henry goes to Paulie. And then after he goes to Paulie and gets the money from him, and he sits there and talks about how ashamed he was of what he did and all that stuff. Yeah, he was ashamed until he got caught by the cops because he was running a whole freaking drug run on the side. And had people working for him that weren't affiliated with that freaking mob family. And trusting a dingbat to frickin' be the person to make the calls on the phone to set up a drug deal from your house. Well, she was supposed to call on the cell phone, but the dingbat frickin' called on his house phone to set it up. Then he had to go get her. Then she had to go get her hat and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, oh boy, how frickin' dumb that some of these characters get toward the end of that movie. I mean, seriously, all of them got pretty freaking dumb. Like, why would you hire two idiots to try to kill somebody? If it's supposed to look like a professional hit, you're high ranking in that family, even though you can't be a freaking member of the family because you're not fully blooded Italian. But come on now. Hey, Wes, I mean, hire some better henchmen. And in fact, they turned on Henry already. Henry could have easily just went and told Paul, oh yeah, Jimmy was in on this little thing too. Oh, was he now? Now, yeah, because they covered their tracks at the beginning with all the stuff they did on the side that Paulie didn't know about. Like the Latanza heist and all that stuff. But, because they killed all the idiots that freaking were buying stuff when they were told not to. Like, lay low. Don't buy nothing high profile, and these dummies go buy something high profile anyway. So, yeah. I mean, gee whiz, What is with some what is with the mafia looking so dumb in these freaking movies like Goodfellas? Then you see what happened with Carlito's Way, and then you get wiped out by one freaking guy. Like, there's four of them, and there's one of him, and he just wipes them all out, except for the boss who lived when he shot him, but then the cops finished him off, and then we had the Benny Blanco thing where he shot Carlito. But anyway, yeah, man, I just don't get why they make that, because the mafia is supposed to be super smart, right? They're supposed to be super smart to where they don't get caught. But that's not the case in Goodfellas or Carlito's Way. I mean, seriously. You hire a couple of goofballs to try to kill the man's wife. And, you know, and if I was Henry, I would have said, oh, but you know, Paulie, now that I think about it, how Jimmy was helping me out with this thing. He could have easily ratted Jimmy out and still didn't rat him out. And then after he got the money from Paulie, and Paulie's like, well, now I got to turn my back on you after he gave him that hypocritical speech about, I treat you like a family. And you do this behind my back. You treat me like an idiot. Yeah, you're banging his wife behind his back. Come on now. You know, whether he knew it or not, you're hitting his wife on the side behind his freaking back without him knowing. There's a point where Paulie's the one that says, well, I'll talk to Karen and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he was talking to Karen in the bed. All he had is facing her dirty pillows, but yeah. Anyway. So then we get to the point where Harry rats out the rest of the frickin' family, and, you know, Paulie goes to jail, Jimmy goes to jail, all the other high-ranking members of that mob family go to jail that didn't get killed by Henry and them. Well, it was mainly Jimmy. Jimmy had them all iced. But, I don't know. You know, as much as I love the movie, some of the stupid things they did toward the end, like, you know, first of all, attacking a maid guy is totally dumb. You don't attack a maid guy no matter what. Just take the crap, or at least get permission to kill the guy from your boss and the other boss. It's like, well, this prick was, you know, starting stuff with me because he wanted to get me wound up or something, or do something like that. Come up with a good reason. Make up a frickin' lie. Heck, I mean, that's what frickin' Henry and Jimmy and Tommy did most of the movie anyway. To Paulie and all them. So, I don't know. And Paulie being such a hypocrite. Oh, you treat me like I'm nothing. You treat me, you're talking, you double cross me like this even though I'm banging your wife behind your back, pal, but you know. Which, yeah, I think the book talks more about it than the movie does because, I don't know. Now, apparently this movie is supposed to be based on, what is it, Sammy the Bull in them? That's what I think the movie's supposed to be based on, but they also said it's based on something else, too. Because I've watched a lot of, you know, crime dramas about top-tier gangs and all that stuff. Like, I've watched stuff about, watched TV shows that talked about gangs like frickin' the Bloods, the Crips, the frickin' Mexican gangs that are out there, organized crime gangs like the Mafia, the Cartel, and all that stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. That'll do it for this video. That'll do it for the frickin', you know, for the Goodfellas movie. But, you know, I want to give a special birthday, a special heavenly birthday shout out to my little brother Stephen Hornsby, who passed away 3 years ago. And, you know, very upsetting day. It's pretty much, as far as my immediate family goes, all me and her got left, all me and my sisters got left is me and her. And my stepdad, which is her biological dad, you know, but, yeah. We also have our own kids in that, too, but, yeah. But he's also got kids, too, that don't have a father. But, anyway, yeah, so... Happy heavenly birthday to my little brother. And when I come up there to, you know, you and my mom, when I get up there to heaven, are the first. You and mom are the first people I want to see when my time comes and I go up there. Anyway, and I know people don't like videos where I do this, but hey, you know, that's my little brother, so. Anyway, so now that Gangster Movie Month is over, let's get into what I got coming up this next coming month. So Monday, I'm going to be reviewing something that should be coming either today, tomorrow, or Friday. I got something else coming too. I'll probably review that as well. And I'll be having a lot of, because it's now time for WrestleMania Run, yeah. And that means, what WrestleMania Run, that means Wrestle Game Mania, which starts this Friday with WWE 2K25 playthrough. I figured out how to frickin' simulate without having to play special referee and all that, and I don't have to frickin' pick the stupid frickin' arenas and crap that they put in the frickin' game. I mean, why is there no love for many WCW pay-per-views on this frickin' on these WWE games lately? They've taken a lot of the old WCW pay-per-views and frickin' renamed them to suit their frickin' company. But yeah. So Monday, I'll be having a review of something I should be getting either today, tomorrow, or Friday. Hopefully it comes today or tomorrow, because I ordered it Saturday. Probably gonna do a wrestling figure topic talking about. I know it's like way too early to talk about Comic-Con predictions, so I'm not gonna talk about Comic-Con, but I am gonna talk about what we could see when at WrestleMania weekend. I'm gonna have a few other wrestling topics going on. Gonna be doing some playthroughs of some wrestling games. Then Batman month comes up after that, which I'll be reviewing pretty much most of the Batman movie figures that I have in my collection, or that my son has in his collection. Although I've reviewed a few of them already. I'm gonna like review them all together, and apparently, I guess next week, if this guy's right, I think his name's DeJager or something. Next week, we're supposed to be getting that Batman 89 Joker figure, so if I find that in stores and I'm able to pick it up, definitely going to have a review of that. Also, the Heath Ledger Joker comes out. The Bane from Dark Knight Rises comes out. And I'm hoping that the Batman and Robin Bane comes out sometime soon. Maybe before April hits, but we'll see. And X-Men month, I'm going to start out X-Men month with talking about the cable video. Hopefully we're going to get a freaking trailer for X-Men 97 Season 2, because we have not heard anything since that leak trailer happened. What was it? Freaking New York Comic-Con at the end of last year. So hopefully we're going to get a trailer soon for X-Men 97 Season 2 to let us know when X-Men 97 Season 2 is coming out. The next thing I'm looking forward to on Disney Plus is that Darth Maul show, because I'll be watching that. And that don't come out till April. And then we gotta go through frickin' Daredevil Born Again. Who cares? The first season of Daredevil Born Again sucked! And it's getting a season 2! Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Probably gonna do a review in these next couple weeks of Star Trek Picard. Because I watched that last month. I watched frickin' almost, or maybe it was December, I don't know. But I want to get a review of that and get my thoughts on it. I know a lot of people hated that show, I think. But you know what? I thought it was pretty good, so I'll give a review of that as well. What else? Hopefully soon we're going to get Trailer 3 of GTA 6 as well. I also got Crash Bandicoot Sunday. I went and got Crash Bandicoot 2, not the first one. And then I got Mortal Kombat 2 for Sega Saturn. So, anyway, but that'll do it. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and you know what, Gangster Month's over. You know, I will bring it back for another year. I mean, yeah, we didn't do too decent with Gangster Month, but maybe it had to do with some of the movies I picked. Next year for Gangster Month, though, Gangster Movie Month, I guess I'll talk about movies like The Outsiders, The Warriors, because I just watched The Warriors a few days ago. The Warriors. Warriors come out to play. I don't got glass bottles to be intimidating with my, Warriors, Outsiders. Maybe I'll do American History X because even though I don't like freaking Nazis or freaking Ku Klux Klan, but probably do a video on those next year. And it probably won't take up the whole month of February. Probably take up like 3 weeks of February. We'll see. But anyway, that'll do it. Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. And remember this, you're a good fella.